Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Erin, and today I have a little bit maybe of a strange video for you guys. I was watching a video the other day on Rachhloves' channel, and she was talking about getting like a flawless makeup application, and one of the suggestions that she made was to cut your beauty blender in half. Now, by the title of this video, you probably already know that I'm going to be cutting something in half, but I'm not as brave as she is with actually cutting one of my real beauty blenders in half. So I do have one of my L'Oreal sponges. This one has some rips in it and things, so I was about to retire this one anyway. I figured that I would go ahead and cut my L'Oreal sponge in half in the name of science to see if drugstore sponges have the same result as beauty blenders, as she said that you can get a much better application of your makeup. And really, to me, I think of if you take one sponge and cut it in half, now you have two sponges for the price of one. So this could really be a nice hack to have. So I have my nice pair of sewing scissors, and I already did dampen the sponge, so let's go ahead and cut this bad boy in half. So there we have it, our two halves of our L'Oreal sponge. I already do have moisturizer and everything else on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some primer, and then we'll do a foundation application. Alright, so I just went ahead and put on some of the Smashbox Primerizer that I got in my Sephora Play box. I actually have really been enjoying that, especially for my oily skin during the winter time. It does look very shiny right now, but it almost has a tackiness to it, which I think makes it a great primer because it kind of hangs on to that foundation. But I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte Foundation today, and this is in 102 Shell Beige. This is usually more of my summer color, so I don't know if I'm going to have to mix in a lighter shade to kind of bring this back down to what my winter shade is right now, but that is it right there. We'll see what we can do, and then we can maybe lighten up with some concealer and things. But I have my half of my L'Oreal sponge. Whenever she cut her beauty blender in half, she did use the flat side to do her foundation application. And usually with these sponges, when they are whole, I use this flat bottom part as my foundation application. So just like in her video, I am going to use the flat cut side of my sponge and go ahead and do my application. All right, so I did half my face, and I can already tell you guys that I kind of really like this. Because the sponge is cut in half and it's a little bit more flexible than when the sponge is like a bulb, it really gets into those little corners. And also I have a lot of trouble getting coverage on the inside of the little crevice of my nose right here. So that more flexible tip really gets into all those nooks and crannies and lays your foundation down beautifully. Now, another tip that she had in that video was, of course, to work your foundation in thin layers. And one thing that I had been doing that I've kind of like changed my ways with is I would just dot foundation all over my face and then go to town. Well, I feel like I was almost putting too much on my face. So now I like to go ahead and put it on my hand, and of course that is too much for me, but I like to bring my foundation down my neck. But now I just go ahead and I tap into that product on my hand and get it on my sponge, and then I just let that sponge lay down as much as it wants to, and it really shears it out. And then you can build up your foundation. This is going to help it stay more. This is also going to help with any caking or creasing. So I'm going to go ahead and put foundation on the rest of my face, and then I'll be back. All right, guys, so that is the coverage that we are looking at. Now, this is one of my favorite foundations from the drugstore. I know that I will always have good foundation days with this one, so I wasn't really putting the foundation to the test. I was putting the application process to the test. But this is beautiful. I mean, it looks like it has sunk into the skin. It's not sitting on top of the skin. It blended out beautifully. It has that natural medium coverage that it covers my redness. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some concealer and use the same sponge to blend everything out to see how I like it with concealer. All right, guys, I absolutely love this. It has to be how flexible this is. Every other sponge, when they're together, you still have that pushback that you can't quite get into those little tiny places. But with this cut in half, I can get right up there underneath the under eye. My creasing is very, very diminished. I need to set everything down with powder, but everything just went on beautifully. Everything blended out beautifully. Everything around my nose. Do I think I'm going to go ahead and cut all of my sponges in half? No, I don't think that every sponge would necessarily operate this way. If you have an older L'Oreal sponge that you're thinking about chucking and maybe you want to try this out, cut your L'Oreal sponge in half. It is amazing. Plus, I'm only dirtying one sponge and I have one more that I can use tomorrow. This is absolutely genius. Absolutely genius. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my face down with powder. I do use my damp sponge with my powder as well. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that part and then I'll come back and tell you what I think about that. So this is what we are looking like set down with powder. A little bit of redness might be translating through on the camera. I mean, I can still see a little bit of skin tone underneath that. If I wanted to build that up more with more Tarte Shape Tape, I could, but I want maybe more of a natural look today. But as far as the finish of the foundation, the concealer, and the powder on the skin, it's flawless. Absolutely flawless. I'm gonna have to try this with a more full coverage foundation just to see if it has that same effect, but this looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my face. I am running out and doing some errands today. I actually get to go to Sephora today, so I'm so excited for that. But let me go ahead and put on the rest of my face and then I'll be back. All right, guys, so this is the final look for today. Apparently I wanted to go natural, but I just pulled the Just Peachy mattes out of my collection again, and I had to play with this color right here. So this color is all over my lid with the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Drift padded all over it. So apparently I went with a red eye look today, but you know what? I can be extra on the weekend. As far as the foundation application and just how everything is looking right now, it is looking amazing. It is looking flawless. It is... Go cut your sponges in half. I'm just saying. If you have any like sponges sitting around that you're just about to toss, cut them in half, just try it. You're gonna toss them anyway and see what you think. Like I said before, am I gonna go and cut all of my beauty blenders in half? No, but I might end up cutting quite a few L'Oreal sponges in half. I might try it with a couple of my other sponges as they start wearing out, but I'm a true believer now of cutting your sponges in half. So this is amazing. And again, I only dirtied one half of the sponge. I have a whole other clean sponge ready to go for tomorrow. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope I give you guys a little bit of confidence to go ahead and cut one of your sponges in half and try this technique out. It is absolutely amazing. I will link the video down below that Rachhloves did about cutting her sponges in half so that you guys can watch her video as well. Leave me a comment down below if you have already tried this technique and what your experience has been. Give me a thumbs up down below if you found this video helpful or you like this style of video. Make sure to hit that bell icon so you know when I upload. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Sleep under the stars.